Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Jernigan. See if we can turn that up just a little bit, Jammer. My name is Michael Jernigan. Can everybody hear me? A little bit more. My name is Michael Jernigan. All right, there we go. Here we go. This is the Main Event Wrestling Podcast. Sorry, y'all. We got some technical difficulties going on. Let's be honest, we really don't know what we're doing anyway, so just bear with us. This is the Main Event Wrestling Podcast. I am your co-host, Michael Jernigan, joined by my tag team partner, Mr. Jam Patterson. What's happening?
Let's be honest. You are the host. You're the one that brings it every week.
We tag team.
I'm just here for colorful commentary every now and then. Like my man Jericho said when he called Orange Cassidy, dip crap.
Dip crap.
I won't say the real word. Dip crap Cassidy. I come up with those lines every now and then.
I got to be honest. A couple of weeks ago, I wasn't sure how I felt about Jericho and Orange Cassidy.
Oh, it's going to be good.
But Jericho's a professional. Orange Cassidy's doing things we've never seen. We saw like a serious side come out 2 weeks ago when they were brawling in the stands. So I like it.
Oh, I think it's going to be good.
I like it. We got that match coming up next week, of course.
Let me say this to go ahead and get it out of the way.
Okay. Because
you will probably drop the microphone. I'll probably get a phone call from Chase Smith from Press Play Podcast Network.
Mm-hmm.
I will probably get fired after this statement.
All right. Listen, y'all, I'm taking applications for new co-hosts. Send them in.
You will probably disown me as a friend, as a co-host, as a partner.
Send me your application at Main Event Pod on Twitter.
I tell you what, man, and I've talked to another guy about this, and this is hard for me to say. This is big time, Jern.
Let's hear it.
This is big time. I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth. You know how I compared Cody's pop to Steve Austin?
I recall.
This is probably 10 times worse of a statement.
We did get to see a Cody cutter last night, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
But go ahead.
Jericho has reinvented himself so many times.
Uh-huh.
And has gotten, whatever character, whatever they put him in, even on commentary, the guy is just, he succeeds. He makes you, he brings you in.
If you say he's better than Ric Flair, we're shutting her down.
I believe Chris Jericho may be the true GOAT of wrestling.
Stop it.
He may be the greatest of all time, Jern.
Stop it. If you want to give him the last 10 years, that's fine. I'll listen to that. I'll take that argument. 10 years ago was 2010.
Yeah.
Stone Cold already moved on.
Right.
Flair had moved on.
Jericho was still killing it.
Shawn Michaels had just retired. Undertaker's still there, obviously. If you want to give him the last 10 years, I'll have that conversation.
But what he's doing today is, you're intrigued by his matches, even though he looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Right?
A buddy of ours last night, we were texting about a couple of people, and Jericho being one. He, a little rounder.
And, the word was that he did this on purpose to make his character
That's right.
even more, like a bad guy, unbelievable.
That's right.
And so, which I don't know, he may be just having a little bit too much of the bubbly. But the dude is doing things that's just like, let's be honest. If he wasn't in AEW, would they be as they're successful, but would they be as successful as they are now without Chris Jericho?
They would be successful, but listen, he brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of personality, a lot of entertainment.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, he's got a big role to play.
Because
no question.
I base this on the GOAT statement, right? And then we'll get to the show. Ric Flair, same character his whole career, right? He was always a good guy heel. People loved him, loved to hate him. But his lines, everything stayed about the same. Stone Cold, same thing.
Yeah.
The Rock, same, anytime he got on the microphone, you knew what was coming. Jericho on the mic, especially in AEW where they don't handwrite him a script.
Right.
Like I saw Braun Strowman use the word enamored the other night. Braun Strowman would never use the word enamored.
Braun Strowman's from our home state of North Carolina.
Right.
We don't use that word.
I had to look it up.
Oh, I know what it means.
And so, but Jericho is always fresh. He's always witty. He's got something new. Man, the dude is, I love me some Chris Jericho right now.
Listen, I do too. If you want to talk about him being the best the last 10 years, I'll listen. We can have that conversation.
He may be the GOAT.
Stop it.
May be the GOAT.
Stop it.
All right, what you got for us, my man?
Look us up on Twitter, Main Event Pod. Send those applications in. We'll bring you in next Wednesday or next Thursday.
Chris Calicut, you nearby?
Chris Calicut, yes, sir. You give me a call, bro. Give me a call. All right, speaking of Jericho, let's look at AEW from last night. It was night one of Fyter Fest, the two-night Super Show, if you will.
It's actually going to be 3 weeks.
AEW Dynamite. Before we talk about the show, let's talk a little competition, a little Wednesday night wars.
Yeah.
Probably 4 weeks ago, AEW coming out of their pay-per-view. What was the name of that pay-per-view?
Oh, it wasn't Double or Nothing. What was it?
All In?
All In, yeah.
Yeah. So they're coming out of that pay-per-view. They started advertising for Fyter Fest.
Right.
They were advertising Moxley versus Cage.
Yeah.
They didn't say when it was. They said sometime in the summer. Obviously, we're dealing with a worldwide pandemic here. They didn't have all the details. They said sometime in the summer we'll have Fyter Fest. And Cage won that ladder match. Moxley was the champ. That match is going to be at Fyter Fest. About 2, maybe 3 weeks later, about 2 weeks ago, they started advertising a 2-week Fyter Fest for this Wednesday, next Wednesday on free TV.
I love it.
It's not a pay-per-view. It's not streaming on Bleacher Report. It's on free TV, Dynamite time, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, TNT. So then they started putting matches around it. Then all of a sudden, you had them boys on the other channel.
Yeah.
Had Triple H and Shawn Michaels and the crew on NXT. This past week, less than a week ago, they started advertising for a 2-week Great American Bash. And they started with a great main event last night with Sasha and Io Shirai. For those of you that don't believe this Wednesday night is a war like Monday nights.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, come on. Come on.
First off, it's a war because of this. They used my man Daddy's best pay-per-view. That's Dusty Rhodes' pay-per-view, Great American Bash. He's the one who come up with the name. You don't think that's a shot?
It's not his best. Starcade would be reserved.
War Games is probably Dusty Rhodes, one of his best too.
Starcade's probably if you're ranking. War Games is good, but Starcade.
You throw that, so you know it's a shot at Cody and Dustin.
Did you happen to see Cody's shirt last night?
I did not. I missed that.
His shirt, his T-shirt said "The American Nightmare."
Yeah.
But it was in that old school Great American Bash font.
I like it.
So it looked like a flag waving, had the red, white, and blue on. If you look up,
I'll buy that.
You look up the old logo for the Great American Bash. It was that style, that font, but it didn't say Great American Bash.
Right.
Obviously, it said The American Nightmare. I noticed.
Yeah, which I like it. Like,
I'm all for it.
I mean, if it makes both products better, I'm all for it.
And for those of you people that say ratings don't matter, bull crap.
Bull crap.
Bull garbage. These boys are going head to head. It's Tony Khan versus Vince. It's Triple H versus Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it.
Here's the thing. You can't lose. Like, as a fan.
They're both good.
Yeah, you can't lose as a fan.
We put out a poll on our Twitter every Wednesday night. Who gets the thumbs up? AEW, NXT. More times than not, AEW wins the Twitter vote.
As they should.
However, the last 3 or 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I've liked NXT better. I think NXT's won. Now, AEW wins the poll. So be it. They win. But we'll talk about.
But you don't lose.
No. I'm happy flipping channels, my man. I'm happy flipping channels. We'll talk about who won this week 1 of the GAB versus Fyter Fest. And
I actually like the name Fyter Fest too. That's a good name.
I mean, it's okay. I think it's some kind of video game thing. I think, but I don't know.
Maybe after Street Fighter.
Maybe the Fyter spelled Fyter.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that means, but it's okay. We don't. We don't talk like that in North Carolina.
No.
By God. All right, let's get to last night. Week 1, night 1 of Fyter Fest on TNT AEW. The show opened up. You had a promo by MJF saying that the reason he's there tonight, the reason they want him to wrestle tonight, is because they need ratings. They need people watching. They need him on there so people are watching. He ended up having a tag team match, him and Wardlow versus the Jurassic Express, and the Jurassic Express gets the win with a little mix-up, a little accident,
Could there be a little turn here?
Yeah, we have a little dissension in the ranks with Wardlow and Wardlaw, I believe.
Yeah, Wardlaw
and MJF. I like MJF having a kind of a bodyguard.
Yeah, he's got to have an enforcer.
Yeah, because he's not good enough in the ring yet. He's not a big enough person,
right,
to be able, and he's not. That's a complete bad A like Stone Cold was back in the day,
right,
where he could take care of himself.
Totally agree.
He needs to have a bodyguard. So if they want to tease that for a little while and then have Wardlaw tag team with Jungle Boy to go against MJF and somebody else, then they all turn on Jungle Boy and beat up Jungle Boy.
Be good.
I'm all for it.
It'll be real good.
I'm all for it. So Jurassic Express gets the win in the opening match on AEW Fyter Fest. Next up, we had a women's championship match. We had Super Bad Girl, Penelope Ford, Super Bad Boy,
Super Freak,
and Hikaru Shida. I think these women had a heck of a match.
They stole the show.
This may have been the best women's match on AEW that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They had a heck of a match. There were near falls, there were false finishes, there's some really good moves. Kip Sabian got involved, of course. Just a really good match with Shida ended up getting the win and retaining the women's championship.
Their women's division from the beginning to now is 100 times better. Now, it's still not as good as NXT or WWE, but the women are getting better, and they have the perfect champ right now because she's good.
Yeah, she's good. Do we want to take a moment here and talk about Tessa Blanchard?
Hey, where is she going?
Obviously, Tessa was let go from TNA, the reigning world champion. Let go from TNA. She's apparently a free agent. What's Tessa do, Jammer?
Man, I look at it, Tony Khan and them are pretty strict on some of their stuff as far as, racism and all that stuff.
Now, obviously.
And she made those comments in the past.
Just think back about 6 months ago. We had a discussion here right before she won the world championship on TNA. Twitter went crazy. There's a big blow up with some racial slurs that she had said.
And so you got some heat there, but you got her dad there.
Yep.
And so I think, man, I think she will do better if she goes with AEW. I think she's good.
Yep.
But I think she could get lost in the shuffle with Charlotte, Asuka, Bayley, Banks, Becky Lynch if she decides to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, and plus, I mean, God, the NXT girls, Rhea Ripley, Baszler, who's, I don't know where she's at. She flips everywhere, but I think she gets lost. Is she in Raw still?
Candice LeRae.
Candice LeRae, your girl.
But we'll talk. I'm upset with Candice, but go ahead. Sorry.
But I think for her, as a wrestler, AEW suits her better for her name. I think she gets lost in the shuffle at WWE.
All right, a couple things at play here with Tessa. One, there's a reason why she didn't sign with WWE a couple years ago when she was in the Mae Young Classic. I don't know what the reason is.
Something was up.
But there's a reason. And it may have something to do with her attitude.
She lost first round.
Yeah, had a heck of a match with what's my girl's name that ended up winning? She was tag team partners with.
And Akira Singh.
Yeah, Kyrie.
Kyrie
Singh. Yes. Heck of a match. Go watch that match sometime. Heck of a match in the first round with Tessa and Kyrie. Amazing match. So there's some reason why she didn't get signed then. It may have something to do with the past allegations. I don't know. That's pure assumption. Whatever reason, there's a reason why she's not already.
Because she's been in little small clips
WWE
for a few years. Like even before that, she was like, when they would be like at a bar scene or something like that, she would be an extra in there.
Now, if she were to go with WWE, let's just say they work out the past they get that taken care of, they bring her in. Now would be a good time to bring her in. One, Becky's gone.
Yeah.
Becky's going to be gone for at least 9 months, plus whatever she wants to do after that. Two, Charlotte's taking time off. You got two of your top stars taking time off. Sasha and Bayley are in kind of their own storyline on whether they're going to turn on each other or not. They're tag team champions currently. Asuka's there, obviously. You mentioned Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
The word was with Shayna a couple of months ago that Vince had kind of soured on her. And so that may be why she hadn't been on TV. Also, she may be not be working because of the virus.
Right.
Supposedly WWE gave everybody their own option. If you want to go home, go home. If you want to work, come work. So we don't even know if she's there or not. But for whatever reason, she has not been seen on TV. Speaking of Shayna, real quick, last Monday you had Nia Jax take out Charlotte to kind of write her off TV for a while. If Shayna was there, that should have been Shayna's spot.
Oh, absolutely.
Shayna should have been the one to take out Charlotte because Charlotte eliminated her from the Royal Rumble back in January. Then when Charlotte comes back, you had a ready-made feud. You got Shayna, the new girl, going against the top dog Charlotte. It was set up perfectly, but for whatever reason, Shayna hadn't been on TV. So if Tessa were to go to WWE, now would be the time to do it. You got some pieces missing. And I told you the other day, if she goes to WWE within 2 years, the WrestleMania main event will be Charlotte Flair versus Tessa Blanchard. A battle of the diamonds, if you will. The battle of the Four Horsemen, second generation. And I would love to see it.
Oh, it'd be a good match.
Now, if she were to go to AEW, I told you this yesterday too. They need to get this Four Horsemen faction together.
Oh, absolutely.
We need Cody and Arn.
Yep.
We need FTR.
Yep.
We need Shawn Spears and Tully.
Time out. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then Tessa would slide in there as the women, as the woman in the women's division, to be in that faction. And then if there is some attitude problems behind the scenes, maybe having Daddy around can help that out. Yep.
I'm getting rid of Shawn Spears.
Well, you gotta
not what? Let me
can't
finish.
turn him and Tully. Go ahead. God Almighty.
Tully's gonna get rid of him.
Uh-huh.
Did you see who posted an interview or a promo about midnight last night?
No.
EC3.
Okay.
Everybody's got him going to Impact.
Yep.
You know, everybody's talking about going to Impact.
Yep.
He cuts a thing last night and says he's the great, what did he say? He's the American Nightmare. He's fought the old, and he'll fight the young bucks. You can't have an Omega unless you got the Alpha. And he's listing all these guys in AEW in his promo, not calling them out, directly, but using them in his promo. And at the end, he snaps his finger, and All Elite Wrestling pops up behind him, and he walks off.
I haven't seen this.
Now, he would be great in a horseman category.
Sorry, Shawn Spears.
Yeah, Shawn Spears is gone, buddy.
Shawn, listen, I like you. I think you're a great professional wrestler. Sorry, bro.
But you put the FTR, you put Cody Rhodes,
Arn,
Tully, and then you got
Tessa
EC3 is
EC3.
like your Ric Flair main character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! I said it.
All right, so who knows what Tessa's going to do, but if she wants to come to AEW, I'm all for it.
If she wants to come to my house, I'm good too.
I'm all for it. Next up, we had the AEW TNT Championship match with rock hard Jake Hager and his wife, I'm assuming, Catalina, versus the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. These boys had a good match. They beat the devil out of each other. We saw the Cody Cutter off the top rope. And then Cody gets the win over Jake Hager to retain the AEW TNT Championship match. Next up, we had Pride and Powerful versus the Private Party with Matt Hardy. By the way, is Matt Hardy kind of going down some rungs here? He come in on top with the Elite,
right?
With the Inner Circle in that, what was that match? The Stadium Stampede match. They come in hot. And there's nothing wrong with using him to help out a younger team, to help out a new team.
Yeah, and it started in that match where one of the boys from Private Party got hurt. And remember, Matt Hardy escorted him to the back. I thought it was a serious injury. And so to this day, I don't know if it was like a storyline that they put in play, or if he was hurt.
I don't know.
But ever since then, Matt Hardy has become like their
mentor.
Yeah. And so I'm not sure what, but I mean, Matt Hardy, he is up there in a little bit of age.
He is.
He can't, he ain't Matt Hardy version 1, 2, or even broken Matt Hardy. So he does need to slow down some.
We had Private Party picking up the win over Santana and Ortiz.
So disrespectful, too.
Who?
Look, I like Private Party.
Private Party's good, man.
They are, but Ortiz and Santana haven't won a match in almost a year.
Yeah, but they're with the Inner Circle. They
see,
feed off the Inner Circle wins.
They're good, though.
When Jericho wins next week, they'll have a hand in it, and they'll get that.
But still, they need to be at the top of the rankings in the tag team. They're good, man. So disrespectful.
The main event of AEW Dynamite was the AEW World Tag Team Championship with Hangman Adam Page and the Cleaner, Kenny Omega, versus the Best Friends, Trent and what's the other man's name?
Oh shoot, I don't forget.
It just like left my mind.
Anyways,
Taylor. Chuck Taylor. Yes,
Chuck Taylor.
Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. Sorry, Chuck. With Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega getting the win with a little help from FTR.
I love.
And they teased that at the end with Omega pouring out the beer and not drinking it, and apparently that was offensive to FTR.
As well as it should be.
As soon as he poured it out, the boys started taking their jackets off, started pushing. Of course, the Young Bucks come down to break up everything, and all they're doing there is setting up some good matches that I want to see.
Oh yeah, next week, the Young Bucks and FTR will not last the entire match as a team.
Something's got to happen. They need to hold off on that match to whenever they can have fans back in the building.
Because it will go bananas.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy good. And that was night one of AEW Fyter Fest 2020. All in all, thumbs up show, no question.
Absolutely.
Good show. Jericho was great on commentary until he got ran out, and Orange Cassidy and him had their run in. The women's match was amazing.
The best part about that was Orange Cassidy, them holding him back when he's really not even moving.
Yeah, he was just standing there.
He's just the sloth style.
Yeah. The women's match we mentioned earlier with Penelope Ford and Sheeta was really good. Cody and Hager had a good match. The tag team match main event was really good. There was a video package in there about Darby Allin getting ready to come back.
I love Darby Allin.
All in all, listen, good show, thumbs up show. However, we'll talk about this in a minute. I don't think it was as good as NXT's Great American Bash.
You're an NXT guy, though.
I do like it. I mean, first of all, I'm an AEW guy, too. I'm a pro wrestling guy, a good pro wrestling guy.
I'm an NXT. I'm not a WWE guy. Raw and SmackDown.
We're not talking about Raw and SmackDown. We're talking about NXT. There's a difference.
My God. How
and the difference, my friend, is Candice LeRae. She opened the Great American Bash last night. So you haven't seen any of the Great American Bash?
Not yet, no.
They had
thanks to my son.
Had 2 sports cars set up outside right there on the rampway. They had a little different look to the ramp than just the normal Full Sail entrance ramp. They had some American flags flying, all that kind of good stuff. Candice LeRae was in the opening match. It was a 4-way number 1 contender, a fatal 4-way number 1 contender match with Mia Yim, Tegan Nox, Candice LeRae, and Dakota Kai.
And if I'm guessing, I'm going to say Dakota Kai won.
Well, she should have won, but this is during a time when I was flipping back and forth. So this was in the opening match of AEW, which was, what was their opening match?
MJF.
Yes. I was watching some of that, and I didn't realize this was a fatal 4-way match. I flipped back. Candice LeRae was nowhere to be found.
Already gone.
My God, she was the first one taken out of the match.
And you're still an NXT guy?
Currently. We'll see what happens. So Candice LeRae was the first one eliminated. Then Mia Yim got eliminated by Dakota Kai. And then Tegan Nox defeated Dakota Kai. And Tegan Nox is your current number 1 contender for the women's championship on NXT.
I like it.
I thought Dakota Kai should have won. It seems like, obviously, Io Shirai is the champion. Good guy, champion. You got a bad girl as number 1 contender. It would make sense to me. And Dakota Kai, she's kind of like been on the been kind of at the same level for a couple of months now.
Right.
This could have pushed her up, one step higher. But Tegan Knox is your new number one contender. These girls had a good match. I wouldn't say it's great, but they had a good match. Next up, we had Oney Lorcan versus Timothy Thatcher. These boys beat the devil. They chopped the devil out of each other. These are two Europeans that are just tough-looking jokers that bend fingers and bend arms. Timothy Thatcher got the win with an armbar, a Fujiwara armbar, I believe. I believe what it's called. I think Timothy Thatcher, if done right, Timothy Thatcher could be like the next crazy bad guy.
Right.
Almost like a Mr. Bob Backlund back in the day, how he just snapped and went crazy. That could be Timothy Thatcher. Because he's
cross-face chicken wing.
He's playing this kind of tough, crazy role anyway. And so if they just amp that up another level, and he could be the next crazy bad guy. But Timothy Thatcher got the win on AEW. Next up, we had a handicap match for Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah and Robert Stone. This is pretty much what you expect it would be, a bunch of comedy stuff with Robert Stone. And then you had Rhea Ripley kind of get pissed, and she put both of them in that cloverleaf finish at the same time, and they both tapped.
I don't like that, right?
Here's my problem with it. If you think back to October, November, Rhea Ripley was like the hottest thing on NXT. She beat Charlotte in a triple threat match on SmackDown one night. The women won the Survivor Series match. The NXT women won the Survivor Series match. She beat Shayna Baszler on the NXT show that we covered here several months ago to win the championship. A great match. The crowd filled the ring afterwards. She was like a can't-miss star. Now, she lost to Charlotte at WrestleMania, and since then, she's been doing stuff like this with Robert Stone and Aaliyah. And I'm fine with her working with Aaliyah to kind of help Aaliyah out, but P.S., let's put Rhea back up there with EO
she needs to
and
be.
Tegan Knox, and put Rhea in there with.
And see, what I see is this: it's Vince McMahon fingerprints in NXT.
Not supposed to be.
Well, that's what I see happening, and I hope I'm wrong because Vince sucks.
You heard it here first, folks.
I said it.
Next up, we had a strap match. When was the last time we seen a strap match?
Ric Flair, Ivan Koloff, Greensboro Coliseum, and it was a good one.
That was the last one you saw?
Probably so. Leather strap match.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Sting and Vader had one in the early 90s.
I don't.
I want to say Vader and Hogan had one in the mid-90s. Stone Cold or the Taskmaster, the Ringmaster, and Savio Vega had one probably in 95, 96, somewhere around there. But I haven't seen one in a long time. But
it's been a while.
We had a strap match with Roderick Strong and Dexter Lumis because Roderick has been deathly afraid of Dexter Lumis, and so he's been running away from him for a couple of weeks. So they put them together in a strap. They actually had a reason for a strap match, which I can get behind. And they had a really good match, actually.
How many licks could you take with the leather strap?
None.
Not even one?
None. Listen, Cody took 10 a couple months ago.
Yes, he did.
No, none. None.
Man, that would be brutal.
How much money would it take for me to video hitting you with a belt one time?
One time?
Yeah.
How hard are you swinging?
As hard as I can.
Oh, we up in thousands.
Oh, come on.
We up in the thousands.
Hey, if we can get a sponsor for the show to cover that cost for us, we'll do it.
Well, first off, if we video it, the microphone has got to be turned off.
No, we want your true, honest, and genuine reaction.
Well, you'll probably see it in my face, but you don't want to hear it in my words.
No, we want to hear it all. So Dexter Lumis gets the win over Roderick Strong. Man, it was a really good match between these two. I think Dexter Lumis needs to get, depending on what happens with Keith Lee and Adam Cole next Wednesday, Dexter Lumis needs to get in that North American title picture.
I got you.
With Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano. Just keep moving him up the ladder. I like his character. He's got one of these crazy stalker-ish type character. His music, his entrance music is almost identical. Sounds just like Stranger Things.
I like
you watch
it.
Stranger Things?
I've heard you talk about it.
Oh, you need to watch it. The music is almost the same. Then we had We had a promo by Santos Escobar. Drake Maverick interrupted. He was getting beat down 3-on-1, and then Breezango came in for the save. So they set up a 6-man tag team match for next week with Santos Escobar, his 2 boys, Breezango and Drake Maverick, for night 2 of the Great American Bash. Then we get to the main event, and this was without a doubt the best thing on the show. Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks, and Sasha was wearing some sweet United States American flag ring attire.
I like it.
That was real nice. She come in a car. Bailey had her dog with her. It was good. So they're having a really good match. Then Bailey gets involved. She hits Io with an elbow while the referee wasn't looking. Sasha gets a near fall. Bailey's over here talking to the referee. Sasha and Io are fighting in the corner. And who pops out from underneath the ring?
Asuka.
Who did I tell you yesterday afternoon will get involved in this match?
Asuka.
Asuka pops out from underneath the ring, blows the green mist in Sasha's face.
I like it.
Io hits the moonsault, gets the win over Sasha Banks. And I said that match yesterday would lead to next week a tag team match with Asuka and Io versus Bailey and Sasha. Has not been announced yet, but I'm still holding out hope.
You got the feeling.
Holding out hope. So we got Io beating Sasha Banks. They kept referring to Sasha last night as the NXT legend. And she was NXT famous.
Who would you say
legend?
Who would you say has been the greatest woman for NXT?
Asuka. She never lost.
Well, that's true.
She never lost. She gave up the belt. She won it from Bailey. Gave up the belt because she was hurt, and then went to the main roster. Never lost. Asuka.
Okay.
Sasha was good.
Yeah.
Bailey's good.
So you watch NXT way before I did. That's what I'm asking.
Charlotte was good. Becky was good in NXT. She was
Here's
okay.
the question. Charlotte of NXT looks nothing like Charlotte now.
No, you can tell something's up.
Yeah. Something's out.
You can tell something's up. But I'm not against.
I don't know.
I'm not against any of it. All right, so both shows got thumbs up for me. If you had to pick one, Patterson, without watching NXT, who you picking to win the night?
I always pick AEW.
You crazy.
I'm an AEW guy.
You crazy.
I just can't, there's some things in NXT I like, but then there's some things that, I just see characters differently, right? I love Keith Lee. I think he is an incredible. I think he's a future world heavyweight champion on the main brand.
Maybe.
I think so. I just read an article the other day that said my man Adam Cole and Undisputed Era do not ever want to leave NXT.
I don't blame him.
Which we talked about that a couple weeks ago after it was reported, if he was already bigger.
Yeah, if he was 6'6".
Yeah. And so, Finn Balor's there.
Tommaso Ciampa said he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
He said if they call him up, want him to do shows.
He's retired.
He's out.
And that's the one aspect I don't like. To me, Ciampa should have already had a title match. Right? Has he had one since he come back from his injury?
Yeah. Yeah, he had one at that TakeOver show in Portland, and that's when Johnny Gargano hit him with the belt, and Johnny Gargano turned back.
I stand corrected.
Yep.
Because I think he, they got some guys I like, and then they got a lot of the guys last night that you mentioned.
You crazy. You crazy. Listen,
to me, they're like Pineapple Pete's.
All the Undisputed Era boys are good.
No, I mentioned them as good.
Kyle O'Reilly's hurt right now, but all of them are good. Adam Cole being a daggum superstar.
I hope when his contract's up, he leaves.
Keith Lee is a superstar. Finn Balor has been a superstar for years.
Yeah.
Johnny Gargano, superstar. Ciampa, superstar. Killian Cross, he's getting there. He's going to be there pretty soon. Superstar. Candice LeRae, my God, need we say more?
Supermodel.
Io Shirai, Rhea Ripley. They got talent. They got ability. They're all good.
I see you haven't mentioned my favorite NXT guy. Unbelievable. He's from Burlington, North Carolina.
Oh, he was on there last night. He had a promo. You need to go back and listen to his promo.
Is it good?
Yeah, he was country, and he had his little hick voice going on.
I love it.
Cameron Grimes. Yes,
Cameron
yes.
Grimes, baby.
Yes. He was on there, and Damian Priest is coming. I'm telling you, it's good. It's all good. I would give the thumbs up to the Great American Bash last night over AEW Dynamite. Next week, we have, obviously, on AEW, we have Moxley versus
That's
Cage.
in 2 weeks.
I thought it was next week.
It was supposed to be, but, Moxley, Renee Young got the virus.
Yep.
So they're quarantined. So that's why I said Fyter Fest is really going to be two more weeks.
Well, that's good because we were going to talk about what should AEW do if Moxley can't show up. How would we book it? What would we do?
Yeah, they've already announced. They
they're holding
even
out,
got a name for it.
Okay, so be it. Next week on NXT, we have the championship match, winner take all, with the NXT World Champion Adam Cole, Bebe, and Keith Lee, the North American Champion. Whoever wins is going to be 2 belts. Is going to have both belts, and we'll see what happens. I'm really looking forward to that match. My prediction is Keith Lee walks out with both belts. He gives up the North American belt. They have a tournament, and then maybe that's where Dexter Lumis can get pushed up a notch. Finn Balor obviously is there. Gargano's there. And Tommaso Ciampa will make a comeback sometime.
In 2 weeks, it's Moxley versus Brian Cage in what they're calling Fight for the Fallen.
Okay. Well, they did a Fight for the Fallen show last year as well. So. All right. I'm giving thumbs up to NXT. Jam's giving thumbs up
AEW, baby.
to AEW.
Let me go and tell you, if they sign EC3, oh, my God.
Look us up on Twitter. Vote in our poll. Let us know who you give the thumbs up to, either AEW, Fyter Fest, or NXT Great American
If you
Bash.
vote for NXT, suck it.
Your mama can suck it. You can find this show and all the family of shows on PressPlayPodcast.com. We have every show you can imagine, sports shows, book shows, you name it, we got it. Look us up on Twitter, Main Event Pod. Give us a follow. Let's talk a little wrestling. We would love to talk wrestling with you. This is the Main Event Wrestling Podcast. I'm Michael Jernigan.
Jam.
See you next week.